All right, I have one book left, and your Grandpa Bowman, who is my actual dad, got this book in St. Thomas. The man who wrote this is a policeman, and this is his dog. So I'm going to read this book and try not to cry, but I found it to be a really nice story. And look at this. The doggy even signed it with his paw. Very cool. So this is a book that you won't want to rough with because it's actual paper. But it's called The Tails of Trax. And you get to write your name in it because it belongs to Rosie. What is that terrible noise? I slowly opened my big brown eyes for the first time to see what all the racket was about. I saw all my new brothers and sisters in a large box surrounding me. They were all awake, whining and barking so loudly. Oh, look at the little puppy. I turned and yelled, "Why is everyone making so much noise?" My sister, wearing the green collar, turned to me and cried, "We are so hungry." At that exact moment, I could feel my stomach ache for food. I was starving. I began to bark and cry as loud as I could. I'm not sure who I was calling for food, but I knew I wanted it, and now. After a few minutes of barking and crying, a beautiful all-black German shepherd entered our small room. She was so calm, and just having her there made us all stop barking and crying. I knew right away that she was my mom, and I loved her. She fed us and began telling us stories about her past while we ate. My mom used to be a police dog. I had never heard of such a thing until she started to tell us the most amazing stories about saving people's lives. My mom was catching bad people and getting to ride in a police car for most of her life with her human partner. I knew I wanted to hear more about her job. From this day forward, I was going to be a police dog. I constantly bothered my mom to tell me more stories about being a police dog. Sometimes she did not want to talk about it. I think she really missed that part of her life. I would pester and pester her until she would tell me something. My favorite part was when she told me about driving fast and barking at the sirens as they blared. Could you imagine? One day she called me from a different room in the house to come see her. I knew this was something important because my brothers and sisters always got to come with me. If my mom called for us. I was very nervous. Was I in trouble? I did like to get into mischief sometimes. As I approached her, she nudged a small black box open, revealing the shiniest thing I have ever seen. It was her police badge. I had never been more proud of anyone in my life. My mom was my hero. I was lying quietly on my dog bed thinking about that amazing badge when our humans came into the room. I could hear them talking about who would make the selection. Pointing at me and my siblings, I knew my humans helped police services find their police dogs, and I knew this was my chance. I had dreamed about this moment every night of my life. I want to be a police dog, I barked loudly. My human reached down towards all of us. Please pick me, please pick me, please pick me. As he wrapped his hands around me, I had never felt happier. This was it. This was my chance to show them what I could do. My human turned to my other human and said, "The blue collar is our first pick for the St. Thomas Police Service." I had no idea where St. Thomas was, but I knew I was the blue collar. I was going to be able to try out to be a police dog. I was ecstatic, so I ran to my mom to tell her the amazing news. My mom was so excited for me and gave me lots of advice, like being strong, smart, and sure. She told me that if I graduate, my job is the most important job a dog can ever have. I was scared and excited at the same time. I am going to do my best and become the best police dog ever. Today was the day I got to leave to meet my new human who was going to train me. My mom came running into our room to tell me to get ready. I said goodbye to all my brothers and sisters and wished them luck with their new humans and jobs. My mom gave me the biggest hug, and we both cried happy and sad tears. I sat and cried for a little while. I was really going to miss her and my siblings. She told me to be safe, to listen to everything they tell me, and most importantly, to trust my nose. I told her I was going to make her proud. A little later on, I heard a car pull into the driveway, so I ran to the window in excitement. I saw 2 police officers get out of their cruiser and come to my door. My human slowly walked over to me and picked me up. He gave me a pat and told me to make him proud, and he handed me to the police officer. The police officer petted my head and said, "Are you ready to meet your new family?" "Of course," I barked. We drove for what felt like forever. We pulled into the driveway of a house in the country with a huge fenced yard with lots of room for me to run. A human came out of the house to the truck as the 2 police officers opened the door for me to jump out. They said, "Constable James, meet your new partner." This was my new human, partner and best friend. I jumped in his arms and covered him in mud. They all laughed and wished us luck. My new human asked if I was ready to meet the family. I was so excited to meet everyone, I pushed past him as he was trying to stop me. I ran through the entire house, looking for everyone. I may have forgotten that I was covered in mud and was quickly whisked outside. I had to calm down a little before I got to meet everyone tomorrow. I was having the best dream when I heard someone coming toward my room. My human opened my door, flicked on the bright light, and told me it was time to get up. It was early. I was so used to sleeping in at my old house, but I was too excited to sleep now anyway. I ran into the garage and jumped into the rear of the cruiser to check out my new area. I had a water dish, rubber floor, and a fan in case it gets too hot. It was amazing. My human was trying so hard to get his computer to turn on in our cruiser. He turned to me and said that there was a contest with the local school children to name me, and the email was on his computer with my new name. I was now just as excited to get the computer on and began barking at him to hurry up. I could see him reading, and he slowly turned to me and said, "How do you like the name Trax?" I loved it. He explained to me that the city we will be working in, if I pass, is the railway capital of Canada, and the child that won wanted my name to represent the city as well as tracking, which is one of the most important things I will be trained in. I knew I was going to pass. I have been ready for this my whole life. Welcome to historic St. Thomas, railway capital of Canada. Tomorrow we start 4 months of training to become the best police dog I can be. I have dreamt of this moment my whole life. I am about to reach my goal. Now that's a true story. And when the dog was done working, they kept him. The family adopted him, and he now lives with that policeman. So this is a really cool book. I want you to take care of it, and I love you very much.